Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to Boldly Go, Drinking, a product of the Wednesday Night Gentleman. This is a show dedicated to talking about and reviewing the latest Star Trek episodes as they come out. Today we'll be talking about Maps and Legends, Season 1, Episode 2 of Picard. As a warning, this show is full of spoilers, so consider yourself warned. I'm your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
Hello, Midget Radio. How are you today?
Doing well, Tactic Angel. How are you?
I'm all right.
Fantastic.
You know, I'm happy to talk to my buddy again.
Yay.
About Star Trek.
Me too.
In any case, as the title might imply, we're talking about stuff, and we're doing it while drinking. I'll start us off tonight. I'm drinking the delicious and timeless Tullamore Dew.
Oh, damn. It's been a while.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
I'm doing this in remembrance of all of the Romulans who are apparently Irish.
I mean, at least one, but yeah.
What are you drinking,
Nice.
you cheeky bugger?
I am killing off the Glenlivet Founders Reserve today.
Oh, that's been sitting around for a while.
It has. It dies tonight.
Do you enjoy the sophisticated drink more than just their standard whatever
Honestly,
bottle?
I feel like it's a little harsher than the 12-year, but
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
sometimes you get into that and you're like,
yeah.
I don't want to drink the Johnny Walker like blue
Yeah.
because it's like, just give me the red. I don't
Right.
care.
It's fine.
Anyway, I'm drinking like the Bud Light of Scotch. Not today, but sometimes.
No, yeah. No, the dew is great.
It is. I love the dew. Do the dew. That might be something else. So first, let's kind of lay the.
That'd be a way better advertising campaign.
I feel like they're lawyers that would prevent that.
I love
from
it
happening.
though. Somebody snowboarding with like a bottle of Tullamore Dew.
Oh God! And how hilarious would it be if they were always doing something that's like vaguely, like or super dangerous, but
Yeah.
and like they're always having like a really great time, and then they always die at the end,
That'd be fucking amazing.
and then they could be like, drink responsibly.
I love it.
They should pay us money for
They
this.
really should. They really should. It's a brilliant idea.
Can we talk about Star Trek though?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So the first show kind of laid the groundwork. I think it's safe to say you were on the high side of not bad, and I was kind of on the lower side of not bad. Mm-hmm. Before we get into everything, do you want to sum up your feelings about this episode in a couple of sentences?
I mean, no, I remember that I largely enjoyed it, but I'm gonna need your recap a little bit to remember things.
Okay, that's fair enough. I do have a recap, and it's really thorough and professional and everything.
No doubt.
For my part, there were some parts of this that I liked, and there are some parts of it that I was deeply annoyed by. So
Okay.
it was different and the same.
Okay.
So anyway, the actual show starts off with a flashback. It's First Contact Day, and everybody gets the day off except for a few folks working on Mars with a bunch of plastic people. An android named F8, get it?
Yeah.
Gets hacked and murders a couple of humans before killing himself. And then, of course, they turn the entire planetary defense grid on Mars, and I guess that's how the 92,000 people died.
Yeah.
We cut to Picard, who is on his plantation, along with his helpful and, as luck would have it, uncommonly gifted servants, who are former members of the Tal Shiar. Because, of course. They beam into someone's house, which seems like it's probably illegal. And then they use a molecular reconstruction device, which is definitely illegal, because they tell us that. It gives them a kind of Batman Arkham Asylum-style magical reconstruction of the past, up until a point when apparently somebody erased the hard drive of the molecules present in the room. We then learn that there is something even more secret in Romulan's secret service called the Zahat Vash. This syndicate operates more secretly than the Romulan Secret Service itself, They can be found within the Federation, the Gorn hegemony, a nice little nod to you old school fans, and some other places if you want to like list them all out. Like any good syndicate, it's everywhere. Thankfully, thankfully they find some sort of record of inbound calls from Dodge herself or the other Dodge, whatever. As far as the computer is concerned, they learn that Dodge is not on Earth, as most people aren't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most humans are on Earth, right? But
do we know that?
I guess we don't know that, but it seems like that.
I think most of the people that we know aren't on Earth, and Dodge isn't human, so I don't know why you would assume.
Know, but I mean, I guess we're biased towards Starfleet.
I mean, most of the people that I know are on Earth, but that's because of a lack of choice.
Sure. I just feel like, every other place they've colonized, it's one town of like 10 people.
Is it 10 people?
Maybe 12, but...
All right, so it's possible that there are 300 or 400 people living in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And Dodge is one of them.
Yeah.
What about space stations? Because they seem kind of big.
That's true. But that's mostly Starfleet again, I think.
Yeah, but no, there's got to be. Because, like, that guy who cuts Picard's hair, not that seems necessary, but, the barber who's got all sorts of opinions.
Sure.
I don't think he's a commissioned member of Starfleet.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe a contract worker, but
he's just a guy who cuts the hair.
I don't know. But then they don't have currency, so it's like,
should I add this to the list of things that need to be explained?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Dodge 2 is on a Borg cube. She's bedding down with a Romulan guy who she's not really sure she knows the name of, and assumes he's kind of a bum, but that's okay because he's hot, and honestly, she might just be a sex bot, so she might not really have any agency in the matter.
That's true.
Also, he's comically secretive.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't find that scene completely charming. Comically secretive.
Yeah.
Back on Earth, Maurice Benayoun, who we've never seen before. But he talks about the Stargazers, so enjoy yet another reference, nerds.
Yeah.
Anyway, he visits Picard to tell him that he's got, like, super great health, but there's something terribly wrong with his brain, and it's going to kill him, so he might as well go on one final adventure in space.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not what he said?
I mean, it's kind of like at your own risk sort of thing.
It kind of felt, yeah. I mean, but it was also a trope.
I mean, yeah.
It's not necessarily terrible. It's just...
But it answers some questions, right? Answers some questions you had on your list there from episode 1.
I do have that question list at the end. I don't think this one was one that I answered. What was the question?
Why is Picard kind of a little bitch? Like, why is he an asshole? In the first episode, we had
you think
whole
it's
conversation
a mental
about that.
health?
That's one of the things that the doctor mentioned. Have you noticed you're a little more irritable, a little bit short with the temper lately?
Maybe. Anyway, so I'm to believe that that's all mental illness and nothing else.
Well, that's probably part of it, and age. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's boring.
I don't know what to tell you. Then there's no satisfactory answer. He's old. I don't like it. He has a thing in his brain. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Anyway, the mentally ill Picard goes to Starfleet headquarters to visit the CNC. We stop at the front desk, and Picard gets a visitor badge so we can have a joke about how no one recognizes who he is in Starfleet, in spite of him apparently embarrassing the institution a few days ago.
Well, just that one guy, right?
That one guy? Okay.
The one guy who mans the fucking visitors counter, like
maybe he's special. He's
possible.
He has
no idea.
He's a very special lieutenant. He's a lieutenant. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Your secretary is a lieutenant. Not a non-commissioned officer, whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes to talk to Admiral Christian something or other. So she's openly hostile.
Yeah. Well, yeah, after...
She is.
Yeah.
To be fair, Picard does think that he can walk in and ask for a ship and a crew at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
In any case, this doesn't go anywhere positive for him.
No.
And he leaves.
Yeah. Shot down pretty hard.
Yeah, he's I actually did kind of think that made sense, but
yeah, same.
Actually, that was probably my least favorite scene.
Really, I like that scene, but we can get into that when we get through the synopsis.
Okay. On the Borg cube, Dodge's sister is taking apart Borgs or something.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't look like this is set up to go terribly wrong. Dr. Girardi comes to visit Picard on his plantation, leading to a hinted reference that is probably one of the best parts of the show so far, but is also used for a line which I think is trying to be funny, but is a little too clever by half, in my estimation. Because she's looking at a book by Isaac Asimov.
Yeah, I liked it.
And of course, Isaac Asimov created the 5 rules of robotics.
Yeah.
I don't think I can name all of them, but essentially...
I thought it was 3, but I don't remember. Maybe it is
He
5.
created the numbers of rules of robotics.
Yeah. Don't kill humans. That one I remember. But
yeah, that's the one that I like a lot.
Makes sense.
In any case, more interestingly, Bruce and Data were sort of kind of friends, which I actually really like.
Yeah.
And that's based mostly on your thoughts from last week.
Yeah.
Because I do hope they're moving this in that direction.
Yeah, me too.
Back at Starfleet, Admiral Christian Clancy, that's actually her name. I think this is probably a slam against Tom Clancy.
Okay.
In any case, she calls a Romulan Commodore or something.
Mm-hmm.
We learn that Bruce Maddox might not even be alive, which would be kind of too bad. But she assures the Admiral that Romulans are definitely not on Earth, I guess, because she would know. Then she talks to another Romulan on Earth, something about Picard wanting to go find Maddox, and that he said the Zahat Vash, though he didn't say that, but she's supposed to do this, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The Commodore is going to take care of Picard because she's pretty sure he's not going to leave Earth.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be right.
No, I doubt that very much, but...
Back on the plantation, Irish Vulcan lady says Picard can't go, but he's the master of the house, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. She says an interesting thing about how if someone is important to Jean-Luc Picard, then it must be important to everyone. And that's kind of like another jab at his hubris.
Yeah.
But then again, the balding Romulan guy mentioned something about Data, who definitely had better friends. And he mentioned specifically Riker, Worf, and Geordi.
Yeah.
Motherfucking LaForge. And he's like, no, I can't ask them because they'll do it out of loyalty to me. And I'm like, no, you balding prick. They'll do it. Holy fuck. I got a little triggered in this scene.
Okay.
Because you're like, Data's best friend is Geordi LaForge.
Yeah.
If you're Jean-Luc Picard, his boss, showing up and being like, I think Data's got a daughter somewhere, he's not going to do it because of you.
Yeah.
You prick. It's his best friend.
Yeah.
But I guess his parietal lobe might be acting up. Whatever. So Picard takes a taxi rather than a transporter because I guess he's not going to try to break directly into this person's house. Yeah. He goes to talk to a lady named Rafi who wants to shoot him, but he brought some wine, so she doesn't.
Yeah.
Lieutenant, someone is sister to a Romulan guy banging Dodge number 2.
Yeah.
She can tell that a bed has been slept in by 2 people, which is quite a bit different than a bed slept in by 1 person.
Well, it is much more violently messed up.
More violently tossed?
Yeah.
Okay. I will start sending you pictures of my bed, and you can tell me what I did yesterday.
I don't want to know what the fuck you're doing in your bed. But
So she says something ominous because, of course, she's Romulan and she's evil. And then the episode ends.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got through that pretty okay.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, for my part, when I look at this episode, I at least see Picard kind of working through a mystery or trying to overcome obstacles in what I would call a logical way.
Yeah.
And that reminds me a lot more of the Picard I know.
Okay.
Even though it does kind of feel a little bit like a procedural police drama.
Sure. Yeah.
Then there are the scenes that I don't like.
Okay.
and you kind of know both of them, even though I only said I disliked one of them.
Yeah.
But then the other thing. I'm just saying, Picard didn't really have that close of a relationship with Data.
Right.
Geordi had a good relationship with Data. And,
Right.
Riker and Worf, they had a decent relationship, but not like, best friends.
Yeah.
Of all of the people on the Enterprise that we see commonly,
Yeah.
Picard is the most distant from everyone.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah.
And so it's just
It doesn't. I mean, I don't find it like irrational in any way. I mean, it seems like I guess the fondness for Data that Picard has developed. Certainly, part of that is that he gave his life or whatever. So I mean, I'm all right with that, but I don't see like his decision to not go to Riker and Troy and Geordi and all of that as just as an expression of his own hubris. I don't really see it that way.
No, I think she said it as
no. Yeah, she says that. She says that, and then he expresses something similar that they would only come out of like loyalty to him. But I think this is just an excuse. He doesn't want to bring them. One, because they're old, because they've already probably retired and found, peace within their own lives and all of that. And he doesn't want to bring all of them in on this shit. I think he wants to let them just continue to live in peace. That seems like Jean-Luc Picard to me.
Yeah, it's just so self-centered.
I just think it's an easy excuse.
Sure. I think
an easy excuse.
I think it is an easy excuse, but I don't think they should have put it in the episode because you're like, wait a minute. Like, that's an excuse that you're looking at it from like a meta sort of angle where you're like, well, they didn't want to hire all of the original series actors.
No, but I don't think you have to look at it from that way at all. I don't think you do. It makes perfect sense to me that Jean-Luc Picard would not want to involve his old crew in this adventure. Because maybe you can go a number of different ways with that, but I think one, he wants to just leave them alone and let them live out their lives. Two, maybe he realizes that maybe there is some part of him that suspects, because he is a fairly self-aware person, that a lot of the reason that he wants to go on this mission is not because he loves fucking Data so much, but because he's bored. He wants something to do. And he wants to feel important again. So maybe he's aware of his own sort of selfish motivations. And again, because of that, doesn't want to bring in a crew that he loved for such a long time.
From afar.
Doesn't want to pull them out of retirement and put them back in a ship to go on some goddamn mission again.
Maybe I mean, like, I cannot imagine being in Picard's position. And sure, for some of them, I think you could say, how close was Deanna Troi to Data?
Yeah.
Like, not.
I mean, there's a little bit there,
But like, they were coworkers. And you could maybe argue that, Riker and Worf, they were a little bit closer, but not much.
Yeah.
But like when you spell out Geordi LaForge, you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's all right. Here's the thing. Like, let's say that you were going to go do something nice for a mutual friend. Like,
Yeah.
like Blue Sky Giant. There's like
Yeah.
like a seriously life-altering event in Blue Sky Giant's life that you can help make better.
Right.
And that I would also want to help make better.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like, for whatever reason, I'm not going to take Tactic Angel because, like, maybe it costs too much. Or maybe there's some physical danger. Or maybe he'll start bleeding from his hands and then he'll pass out.
Be fucking useless to all of, yeah. Yeah.
And then I learn about it, like, later in life. What are the chances that I'm not just pissed off at you?
Sure. Yeah. I'd be willing to deal with that.
I'm going to burn
As I
your
assume
house down.
Picard would be willing to deal with the same from LaForge.
It's just a shitty thing to do. And it's just like, come on, Picard, stop being a prickard. You see what I did there?
Yep, that's really cute.
I don't know. It's at least as good as the Isaac Asimov joke.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't have an issue with it fucking at all. It'd be cool, like, and I'm sure you would imagine that if we got a Geordi LaForge scene, he would be irritated with Picard, and I'd like to see that. I'd love to see that, actually.
It actually might help me understand Picard more, so maybe I would enjoy that as well. I didn't find him as quite as distant in this particular episode versus some of the prior episode, some of the prior episodes. The one prior, all of the prior episodes.
Okay.
So like that's fine. I don't know. I wanted him to act better, and I still want to understand him. Maybe he settles into something that's more recognizable, and we can forget about that. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel that they did miss an opportunity in this episode.
Yeah.
And we got this Kirsten Clancy character.
Yes.
How much would you have loved if that was Admiral Nechayev? Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's a part of me like you have this old lady and she's like wah, 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 and like have some like sort of history, but it's like, I have never seen you before. I don't think there's a history here. Just give me. I mean, I actually looked it up. I was like, maybe this actress doesn't do stuff anymore. She's still acting. She's still
really?
out there. Yes, she's like 2 or 3 credits a year. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And you're like, get me Admiral Nechayev. They can like when Picard walks in and she's a bitch to him and he's like an asshole to her, then it won't feel quite as weird. But still, I felt like, unlike the confrontational nature that we had in the last episode where Picard made a fool of himself on national television, essentially.
Yeah.
I felt like this made a lot more sense, right?
Yeah.
But I also felt that Starfleet's position was essentially indefensible.
With the Romulans, you mean?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
14 species want to leave the Federation.
And
then there's an attack on Utopia Planitia.
So what's the problem? 14
They didn't
species.
have enough ships or whatever. That was one of the things she said.
But we have already established that there was like a civilian armada that did the work. So what
I
business
don't know to what
is
degree
it,
we've established that within 2 episodes of this show.
What business is it of the Federation what its citizens do? Like, you can't help those people? Like, they're like, okay.
Well, I don't know that he's pissed that Starfleet pulled out.
Sure, but like, okay,
And obviously there were, I mean, it seems like there appear to have been a number of Romulans that were rescued.
900 million?
So I would assume that, like, yeah, rescue missions were ongoing.
So, okay.
I don't see, well, if your point is, like, how does the Federation ban civilian vessels from rescuing Romulans in this? I don't know that they did.
I don't know what business it is of theirs that they do.
Right, so I don't know. So there's no indication that happened. There's no indication that they stopped citizens from trying to help Romulans.
They're specifically angry at Picard. And you can tell that she's angry because she's hostile from the moment he walks through the door. She's like,
definitely.
John Luke, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
And he's like, I need a fucking ship.
Yeah.
And she's like, literally, fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? The absolute fucking hubris? You're like, okay.
Yeah. Sheer fucking hubris.
Fucking whatever.
Yeah.
We established that Starfleet pulled out, and he was like, Dunkirk, we've got an armada of people who are just going to help. So if I have a space yacht, and I want to go over there and I get like 50 Romulans and put them on my ship and drive them somewhere else, like what business is it of the Federation to say you can't do that?
I don't know. Did the Federation tell you not to do that?
That's what it looks like it did.
I don't know where that's established.
Okay. What about the Federation essentially adopting the Phlox foreign policy? I can't imagine that you're okay with that.
No, I don't like it. No, but I understand this much fucking more than Phlox's reasoning.
No, Phlox's reasoning is actually better.
No, Phlox's reasoning is fucking bullshit. Wall-to-wall bullshit.
I will tell you.
We have a practical consequence. And that is that 14 species, however many fucking worlds that represents,
do you know
are threatening to break off from the Federation. We know that's going to happen for sure.
Okay,
we know that.
That's not bad. And I will tell you why.
What do you do? You cannot just declare
I can
that's
tell you
apparently
why.
not a bad thing.
Like, it's in this episode.
Oh God.
How many species are in the Federation?
I have no idea.
They say thousands.
Okay.
Thousands. So 14 species is less than 1%. You're telling me that essentially this is the Federation is a Jenga tile or a Jenga tower of wooden blocks that cannot even withstand one block.
We don't know
from
who
being
though.
removed.
We don't know fucking who it was.
That's fucking lame.
It's not. And plus thousands, is that when do they say that?
She says it like 2 lines later. This is left to right screenwriting.
Really?
You go back and watch it. She says there are thousands of worlds.
Thousands of worlds, sure.
Or I think it might be thousands of species. In any case,
now you don't even know what the fuck.
I think she said thousands of species. You can
okay.
Whatever.
If she says that,
we can adjudicate this in the future if you don't believe me. But she says thousands of species, and you're like, well, you just said 14. So thousands is at least 2,000, and 14 is 0.7% of the Federation.
Well, we don't know, like, if one species has like one world, maybe, and then you have the fucking. Another species that has a whole shitload of them. Like
the argument would be better if you said you don't know if one species has like one person in it.
Yeah.
And one species has 50 jillion people in it.
Right. Honestly, I feel like this is an incredibly minor fucking point. Overall,
so more
because all we need to know is that there was a concern, and this is the concern. And I think to try to say that, like, well, based on the number 14, it's a ridiculous concern is premature.
More importantly, well, you brought it up, but more importantly, the reason why Phlox is more correct.
Oh, God. You do not want to start this battle.
Before you lose your shit, at least listen to me. Okay?
Okay.
Give me like 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
In Dear Doctor, Dr. Phlox argues essentially that they should not interfere with the natural evolutionary process of one race, which is essentially being held down by another dying race.
Right.
Which isn't a great reason.
No.
But in spite of how highly questionable that is, the reason why Archer agrees to it is A, to like retcon in like the non-interference directive.
Shit, yeah. If only there was a directive that was prime that would tell us what to do.
But
yeah.
the reason that he would agree in as a character outside of the meta is because Phlox essentially argues, maybe they figure this out in 5 or 10 years. We are not interfering with the natural evolution of this planet because, maybe it's 5 or 10 years, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 100. But essentially, if we intervene, we are condemning this race to be beneath this other race for potentially all time. And that might not be the natural order of things.
Yeah.
What we need to do is like step aside and see if they can work it out themselves. And like, as questionable as you think that is, the Romulans, who at this point probably realized, just like everyone else in the galaxy, because science exists in Star Trek, that their sun was going to explode.
Yeah.
That's actually facetious. This is poor. That part is poorly written, and apparently nobody realized it until like it was 5 minutes from now. But in any case, there's no one who's going to make the star not explode.
Right.
Right? So, like, there isn't the possibility that if Starfleet's just like, well, if we like leave this alone, that might not be genocide. It's like, no, the sun's going to explode. That's kind of a big deal.
Right.
Unlike Dear Doctor, they might find a cure on their own.
Yeah.
So supporting the position of Starfleet is like, and Starfleet says straight up, we have the right to decide who lives and dies. I'm sorry, that's wrong. They said we absolutely have the right to determine who lives and dies.
Right.
Entire species.
Right.
And that is fucked up.
Right. Okay. So the reason that you're completely wrong about Dear Doctor is that Dr. Phlox's reasoning is 100% fucking speculative at best. He basically just assumes the worst, that these two species fundamentally cannot coexist.
Oh, no, that's not true. Because
that is his assumption. No, that's his assumption. Because he's saying that this one species is going to forever dominate this other species that's brain is growing, and they have increased self-awareness, and their intelligence is growing, and all of that is happening naturally. All of that is happening. And unless this other species fucking dies, then they're going to forever be subjugated, essentially. That's his main, and it's wildly fucking speculative. Two, the other thing that's completely wrong about his line of thinking is that he assumes that any sort of interference from outside is not somehow part of the natural course of it. Like, it assumes this: I'm from a different planet, I'm visiting this new planet, I am not natural, I am somehow artificial. Like, you can't argue. It doesn't make sense to argue that the universe, like, it doesn't make sense even in Star Trek to suggest that, like, the universe has some plan that is out that exists and that people from Starfleet can fuck it up. It doesn't, like, it's a ridiculous assumption. I understand where he's coming from, But in that episode 1, they already promised the cure to these people, and then they fucking backed out, which was just psychotic. And it was because of this. It was because of this purely speculative line of reasoning that these two species basically can't coexist. It's bullshit.
All
it's
right,
bullshit.
so
Whereas at least with the
no,
let me keep this. Let me finish this. At least with Starfleet's decision to pull out from rescuing the Romulans, there was a practical consequence there. We knew there were 14 species that were going to pull out. I don't know to what degree that's really destabilizing. I have no idea. I'm fine to accept it at face value. But at least it is a fucking pragmatic, right in front of your face concern that you don't have to theorize about and just assume the goddamn worst.
I don't know. See, the thing is, okay, I have two questions. If you're gonna, like, would you rather have 14 friends or see 900 million people die?
Right, I know. I don't know what to tell you. To what if the 14 friends are essential to my ability to live? Then yeah, I probably want them. Like, I don't know. It's an impossible question to answer because we're trying to do this off of like 3 lines of fucking dialogue.
Well, that might be a world building problem, but
yeah, it is. But
and the other question is how are the Romulans going to prevent their sun from exploding?
I don't know. We don't know enough about any of that either. I don't know how that happened in the first place. I seriously feel like that is a big pile of shit that they were just left with and had to try to make some sense of.
But it was a J.J. Abrams fucking no, they didn't have to do any of that. Because, like, that doesn't even make sense. Because if you watch Star Trek 2009...
yeah.
Spock says that a star will explode and destroy the universe. She didn't say Romulus's star was going to explode.
No, it was Romulus. That was
you
the whole plot line of the movie. That's why.
It.
What's his face? Nero. That's why he went back in time and he was all mad at Spock because he didn't
supernova.
The
supernova
Romulan
did
Empire.
destroy Romulus, but it didn't say it was the Romulan star, and he was trying to stop it from destroying the universe, which is utter nonsense.
Well, it is nonsense. I don't know what to tell you about that.
There's no reason that they should have picked up this nonsense.
It's canon, Tactic Angel. J.J. Abrams explicitly made that clear in that movie. Spock told us all. He pretty much looked into the camera.
But then why didn't they go with that angle instead of what they did, which was the Romulan star exploded?
I don't know. It's the same thing. It's from the fucking movie. I don't know what to tell you. It's from the movie.
Whatever.
It's the movie's fault. That's why it's there. I can get past this. I really don't think it matters that much. I mean, I would like to know what the hell was going on. Apparently, there's a comic that explains some of this, if you really want to.
Okay. like most poorly written things, saying, like, there's a comic, or it was better explained in the novelization.
Yeah, I know.
Is bullshit.
I know. I don't think this is really all that poorly explained. When you consider the sum total of Star Trek history, from TOS up to now, this does not rate that high for me.
So,
as far as like, what the fuck?
So to get beyond this point,
yeah.
How is the Admiral in peril, and what does Picard have to believe to think?
I don't know.
Because, like, right? He stood up and he was like, you are going to ignore me at your own peril.
Yeah.
And all he knows at this point is that there's a plot involving synthetic people. And he thinks that synthetic people are not inherently evil.
Yeah. Well, so, that it's backed by some super secret Romulan boogeyman, basically.
The Zhat Vash?
Yeah. Hot Vosh. I thought they were saying Hot Vosh.
I
was like, she is hot, but
you mean Vosh from back in Star Trek.
Oh, hell yeah.
TNG. I mean, I'd give her like a 7.5, 8, maybe.
No,
at the top.
Yeah, that's hot. It's a hot Vosh.
I mean, like, it's like attractive Vosh.
8. If you're at 8, definitely.
I mean, are we grading on like a straight curve, or is this like a Pareto distribution?
If you're at like a 6, you're already attractive. That's already attractive.
I think
you're
that's
already
just
on the positive side.
That's just like above average. That's like,
but that's attractive. You get up into 8, you're hot, and then you get up into 10, and it's like,
I don't know. I think like
start.
I think if you're sitting at like 6, 6.5, it's like, I mean, you have to work with her, right? And be like,
no, what are you saying? This is like grade school? Like this is a D+? I don't know.
No. It's like she's all right, and then like you're like, oh, she's got a pretty good personality, and that sort of stuff.
That's attractive.
No, there's other things, but it's not just like you. All right, it's not like it's not like you look at the person and you think there is no way for me to contain my lust.
Yeah.
You
that's
have to do
10.
You have to do additional research, and then you're trying to like backfill the difference.
Your scale is all fucked up.
I'm just telling you how it is.
No, it's all but 6. You're attractive. 7, 8. Now you're hot. 9, 10. Now it's I'm gonna leave my wife. That kind of thing, without even thinking about it.
Okay.
Your scale doesn't account for that level of. If you're 7, 8 is like barely attractive.
No.
Accounting for.
Like the Richter scale, like a 5 is like 10 times more or 10 times less destructive than a 6.
Okay.
It's an exponential scale.
I don't know about.
So like if I'm basing it on like a Pareto distribution, like by the time you get to like 8 and 9. Like it starts to get like really, really extraordinarily.
These are
hot
exponential differences then between like 8 and 10.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I don't see it that way.
I feel like most dudes are sophisticated enough that this is what they're thinking.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm
Richter
curious
scale.
to see how much of this you leave in this episode, but
the whole damn thing, buddy.
Fantastic.
The whole damn. I love that. I leave almost all of the stuff in it. What are you talking about? This isn't edited?
Yeah.
We'll just like cut to that.
I love it.
Without any context.
So the hot Vosh.
The hot Vosh. There's a certain element of this that I'm looking at this and I'm really worried that what they're doing is making Romulans like, and like I said this earlier, comically secretive. And it's just like, Gale and his fucking syndicate. They're everywhere.
Right. Yeah. They do everything.
Oh, did you find out about like the 00 secret agents? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
There's like a quadruple O.
Yeah.
Super seekers, super agents. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's fucking Daredevil season 3 Kingpin. Basically.
Why? It's like they don't like AI. And you're like, okay, do Romulans dislike AI? And they're like, yes. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I kind of remember nobody giving a hot fuck when they met Data. And like, Picard and Data walking around on fucking Romulus. And it's like, hello, I am Data. I am a synthetic human being. And then they're like,
keep all that, hatred secret. That's, they don't want the Federation to know how much they are fucking threatened by their android.
Oh. So what you're saying
none of this is bad. None of this is bad.
So you're saying that the Romulans who are super secretive are like, we're so uniformly super secret that we're not even going to express our feelings towards the artificial life form.
Right. That they would be afraid of Data. Yeah. They wouldn't expose that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because usually Romulans are not being forthright with their hostility.
Well, I mean, not maybe if they're threatened by an AI, I mean, they're not going to be like, oh my god, we're super afraid of something the Federation has. No, I don't know why they would.
You know what?
What do you expect them to do? Just jump on him and tear him to shreds right then and there? That's not Romulans.
One of the things I always loved about Romulans is that they were kind of like, there were a couple of episodes that you couldn't tell exactly, were they hiring this person because like they thought they were the absolute best actor, or was this guy just reading lines? And and I don't remember exactly all of the ones, all of the episodes, or which particular Romulans, because there are a couple of ones that like showed up that they would just read their lines and like, this is a very clever ploy that you've made, Picard. I respect that. And you're just like, God, this guy is so deadpan. And it's like watching like Emily Portman trying to do deadpan.
Yeah.
And it's right. And you walk away and you're just like, I'm not sure if that guy was like the best actor ever or the worst. I feel like it was probably the worst, but like maybe it was the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like that didn't happen here. All of these Romulans that we've seen so far have like fully realized personalities, and that's kind of like too bad, because it does actually make them less secretive. But then they're also like, I don't remember the guy's name. Is Dick one of your names? And he's like, Dick is one of my names.
Yeah.
And it's like, could you tell me anything about you? It's like, I'm a very, very private person. You're like,
yeah.
No, that's cute as fuck, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what your problem is with this.
I just like when they get to the point where it's just like mustache twirlingly secretive. Then it just seems a little bit less interesting to me. Before, they had like a really good poker face, essentially.
Okay.
And that would be the only way to maintain the position that literally every Romulan uniformly loathes AI, but is supremely able to hide that. And I don't know what you're talking about.
We have two Romulans with Picard, right, who do have personalities.
They do.
Don't seem like obsessively secretive or anything like that. We have this one dude on the Borg cube who is like elusive with what's her face? Dodge's sister.
Dodge 2.
Right, Dodge 2. And then we have a little bit of his sister, and then I guess this fucking Commodore who is, it seems like supposed to be Vulcan, but maybe probably a Romulan. I don't know. But that's it. That's all we have. So we have this story, right? This story that like apparently, synthetic life is disliked a great deal on Romulus. And that's about it. I don't really see anything else that you're talking about, though. I don't feel like the Romulans are being painted with a broad brush at all so far.
Okay.
I don't see mustache twirling villain.
No, I don't. I'm not saying...
It's not like this is Control, fucking whatever his name, walking through the ship like, I'm going to kill everybody. Like, I don't see that at all.
Did you think... Okay. So the Federation obviously care about like whether or not people are willing to help Romulans.
Sure. I guess, yeah.
Do you think that it's strange, particularly since the Admiralty clearly still cares, that they allow their citizens to help the Romulan Free State profit from specifically Borg technology?
I know. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what's going on there.
First of all, like, a profit motive shouldn't probably be your average Federation members' motivation.
No. I mean, but then you could see the opportunity to study a Borg ship would be pretty huge.
Okay.
But yeah.
Maybe. But it kind of still doesn't pass the it seems like a really bad idea test.
Well, sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think the Federation is a dictatorship. I don't think this show has made it seem like they are. So, I don't know that there's any issue there whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think the Romulan Free State is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's super, super ill-defined at this point.
Like free from what, right?
Well, I mean, you have to ask yourself, is it kind of like the the Democratic People's Republic of Korea?
Right?
You're like, well, not exactly democratic and definitely not a republic.
Right? I'm a little curious.
There are people in it, and it is in Korea. So we'll go with 50%.
Yeah. Don't know what to make of it.
And we're going to add to the list.
Yeah.
Romulan Free State.
Yeah.
WTF? ?
I would like to know.
I do have a series of questions that I intend to ask for the end of all of these things.
Okay.
I left the does Picard feel like Picard?
Okay.
I assume that you say yes.
Yeah.
I felt that he felt a little bit more like Picard in this episode.
Okay.
And then I have the world building question. What is the connection between Romulans and androids?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably they made the Borg, but...
Why are people trying to capture Dodge?
I have no fucking idea. Well, she's dead. Dodge too. Well, yeah.
I mean, the same thing. They're clearly trying to capture Dodge too.
Yeah.
How did Data paint Dodge 30 years ago?
That's not... So that I don't really have an issue with. Because I think all you have to do is believe that... Or just assert that, like, Data painted some interpretation of what he thought his daughter would look like grown up.
Actually, this episode does offer at least some attempt at an explanation, which was that Bruce modeled her after the painting.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
since he was Data's friend.
That's kind of what I thought.
For the moment, I'm going to mark that as answered.
It's cool. One of the reasons that it's cool is that it further... It explores more the idea that of Data being more human-like because he was able to... Because, right, being an android, if he was just a fucking bunch of bits, then he would only be able to maybe paint what he sees or something. But this is a projection of something. This is something that would have come from his imagination, which is cool. That's a cool thing to say about Data. He was capable of painting something like this.
Okay.
Something that Tech Next Gen explored, I think, a lot, and I like it in this series.
Okay. I don't specifically care to argue against it. I don't 100% believe it, but either way is fine with me. What is Dodge? Which is a really big question.
Okay. Yeah.
How does she know Kung Fu?
The robot.
What are up with Dodge's parents? I feel like all of these questions can't be answered. Or haven't been answered yet.
I mean, well, no. Not by the second episode, no.
Why does Picard keep seeing Data?
That didn't really happen in this episode.
It didn't. But, so I guess we'll just see if they ignore it.
Yeah.
Who did they sign a galactic treaty with about robots?
Oh, I don't know.
It kind of seems like it was a Federation problem.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Why did Starfleet want to abandon the Romulans to their deaths? I feel like, based on our conversation, that has led to maybe more questions. Like,
I suppose so. I mean, it depends on to what degree you really want that answered.
I think like a halfway reasonably believable degree would be nice, but...
I'm not really... I mean... Why does Starfleet... I don't know if do we have maybe unrealistic expectations of Starfleet? Because one of the things that I liked, too, in that scene between Picard and the Admiral was that the Admiral, to me, felt like she was representing Starfleet. what Starfleet is. And Picard, and I think for many of this is true, represents what Starfleet is supposed to be in some platonic ideal. I don't fucking have an issue with that at all. I don't think Starfleet itself ever really was a platonic ideal. I think that that ideal was exemplified through some of the great captains that we've seen in the series. But we've seen plenty of evil admirals, and we've seen Starfleet do some, weird, controversial shit before.
And we also saw Janeway try to murder some people by placing them into an airlock, a cargo bay full of flesh-eating ghosts.
Sure. So I don't really have this idea that that Starfleet is some untouchable, godlike fucking persona. I don't think is justified throughout the history of the franchise.
Well, there's always the trope inside of Star Trek episodes that if you see an admiral, they're probably evil.
Yeah, they're probably evil. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think all of this weight that's being placed on why did Starfleet back out. I mean, it's fine. Look, I would love to know too. I would love to have a clearer understanding of that as well. But it is not a game breaking element to this series.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes.
All right.
For right now, I'm prepared to say that this question is semi-answered. I think that they proffered an answer. I just don't know that it's very fulfilling or satisfying.
Sure, that's fair.
Particularly if you consider that it's less than 1% of species that had a problem with this.
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
we'll check the record.
Sure.
Agnes Girardi, does she have tiny eyes or an enormous face?
I don't care. It's fucking questions.
Trust me, this is going to be funny by the end of it. I've added to this list because we got 1.5 answers. I think we got a couple more questions.
Okay.
What is the Zhat Vash, and more specifically, why do they hate artificial intelligence?
Sure.
And particularly when other Romulans don't appear to be all that worried about it.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, there's no... Yeah.
Who made up Dodge's background?
Yeah.
Because that kind of is a question that's asked in this episode.
Sure. I mean, you would assume Maddox, but yeah.
Probably, maybe. What truth is so profound that knowing it makes you go mad?
They made the Borg, but yeah.
Oh, man. That's just crazy
guess.
now.
Exactly.
And now we have, what is the Romulan Free State?
Yeah.
Or, as I've written it down, Romulan Free State, WTF, ?
Yeah.
Do you have any additional thoughts that you'd like to add to this wonderful episode that we've created?
I like the Zhat Vash concept overall. Because to me, I like the idea of the Romulans kind of being sort of analogous, I think, to if every conspiracy theory, was true to some degree. When I think of Zhat Vash, I think, oh, this is basically if everything that was said about the Freemasons were true, the Zhat Vash, they're the secret, they are running fucking everything. And what you thought was the secret police, they're really just a mask for the Zhat Vash. I dig that. It makes sense to me. For a Romulan society.
I'm not wholly opposed to it. I think the reason why I didn't really love it is because specifically the bum who's sleeping with Dodge 2.
Yeah.
And that scene, or really in kind of all of the scenes that he's in, he's just he seems so he's clever in the most trite way possible. And it's...
Yeah.
And I don't want Romulans to be just like some sort of caricature of clever.
But so contextually within that scene, right? I think it makes sense to me because he's playing into that role that she has already cast him in. Like, he's playing into I'm the secret Romulan, you don't get to know things about me. She's already aware of that. He's playing that role for her. They just slept together after meeting. Like, it's practically a one-night stand. Contextually, this makes sense. If that's all he is, then I agree with you. But, like, within just that scene, it's fine. Like, it makes sense, I think.
Well, all right. So the only thing I liked about that scene was the fact that people still sleep with most of their clothes on.
Yeah, I like that they had sheets at least, like sheets and covers and shit. Fucking Star Trek beds. God damn it. That one actually looked like one I would sleep in, assuming that they didn't just bang in it, but,
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Well, that's fucking great. In any case, thank you everybody for listening to the latest episode of To Boldly Go Drinking. I have lost my script entirely. Please make sure to do all the things that you're supposed to do. For now, it is time for us to boldly go. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.